from across Phoenix.
And I'm Emma from across Phoenix also. Is that bad?
No.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's great.
We're both from here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's refreshing.
Yeah.
I'm also from here.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you go? To high school?
High school? You know International High School?
I don't.
By any chance? Okay,
Yeah.
well, you do.
You know French?
I do. I absolutely do. So how did you guys each other?
So we had the same freshman year class with Billy O'Connell, who was the manager for the Pixies when he was like a little bit younger. And in that class, Evan came in on the first day, and I was like, this bitch has the same hairdo as me, like I'm never speaking to them. And then we got put in the same... Wait.
You asked me to be in the group.
Oh, okay, so I guess I got over that, and I asked them to be in a group with me for a music project where we had to like produce this artist, so we started working together.
Is that artist still working?
I don't know.
Yeah, the artist is named Mission Lorelei. I haven't seen... I think she's like hanging out around, but I haven't seen anything from her.
What was her genre?
Like ambient space.
Whoa.
Acoustic singer kind of thing.
Sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you did the soundtrack for one of your friends' movies.
Yes.
And
It was called Muff, and they filmed it, and then I wrote the soundtrack for it. But after that was all finished, we wanted to do a big performance of the soundtrack and also screen the movie. And we called it Muff Prom. And I had the songs, but I asked Emma to play the bass for the performance, and I was like guitar and singing.
you had like a little laptop.
Yeah, and then that's actually how we met Abby and the Arsonist, because they performed at Muff Prom as well.
Cool.
And I didn't really play bass. Evan was like, can you do this? And I was like, yeah. I figured it out.
So what instruments do you guys play?
So I mainly do guitar.
Yeah.
I played drums in Across Phoenix, yeah. But, yeah.
Evan's really good at guitar too, as well, and bass.
Drums is just kind of like where you have fun.
Yeah. I do have a lot of fun. I'd say, like, my drumming is... I kind of started with, like, drum sequencing and drum machines and stuff, and then started kind of branching out with using, like, less conventional sounds to create drum loops, and then that kind of tied back into, like, okay, how can I make those sounds on a kit?
Yeah.
And that's kind of...
How did you start with guitar?
Well, when I was like 11, I took lessons for maybe like 2 weeks, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, my fingers hurt, and I went back to it eventually when I was like 13, 14, and I just started like playing by ear a little bit.
Had more fun with it.
Yeah, it was less like work and
Instructional.
more... Yeah, and then I sort of just self-taught myself up until like last month. I just got a guitar teacher because it's like I need to know theory to like get any further creatively, I think. Yeah, so I think I've been like playing since I was 13.
Tell me about the process of you guys forming this band and having been performing so far.
So Evan actually asked me to play for their solo project, and then we had done that for a couple days or sessions or something, and then I was like, wait, am I doing this?
It was more like during the summer we would just get together and play. It wasn't... We would do like covers.
Yeah, we
mostly.
do like covers. In my mind, it was like I was the one playing drums in that scenario, because I was like, oh, the longer we do this, I'll just get better at drums and I'll be your drummer.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, well, I've been wanting to start a project for a really long time, so what if we just like tried it? Because I was really wanting to start this project, but I was like, I don't have a drummer, and for some reason it just never crossed my mind that like you played drums.
There was a couple of times like in years past where you'd like kind of mention like wanting a drummer and be like, hey, I'm a maybe,
Casually
but I think it was just
drums.
so many different like projects going on and ideas.
Yeah. But it was kind of like this crazy moment where I was like, wait, my best friend like is a drummer. Like, wait, that's cool. And then it just started working like really well.
What was it like when you first kind of got your foot in the door performing?
Like live.
Live, but also the process of like getting in touch with venues and being like, hey, I'd like to play a show at such and such a place.
So we actually haven't reached out to anybody yet to book a show. We've only been asked to play, and that's not in like a like
oh wow, look at me sort of way.
no, it's just like I think that when a new band enters the scene, a lot of people are like, oh, come play with us, but a lot of it was house shows at first. I talked to a couple friends and I was like, if you ever have a spot that's clear, like let me know. I really want to like try this. And then it just started rolling, and now we get like a couple of DMs every other week, and they're just like, hey, you want to play this show?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who were the first bands that y'all played with?
Charlie Work.
Oh,
That's
cool.
a Loyola band. Ralph and the Rotations.
Rotation.
That was at that first house show. We played a show with like Fish Band and
Sweet.
Swinging Astrids, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. We recently played a show with
The people just now? This band called Rough Dreams. They're from Tennessee.
Yeah.
They're like some touring act. They reached out a week prior to that show, and they were like, hey, our other band dropped out. Can you just come in? And we were like, yeah. We've just been like picking up everything.
Yeah. Is there a band that like you guys really look forward to playing with, or like is on the dream list?
Oh my gosh, like so many. I really want to play with Cashier.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Cashier would be fun. I just love Abby and the Arsonists. I love playing with them. So.
Well, we got that tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we got that tomorrow.
Yeah. I can see you guys being like bill buddies.
Yeah.
We did play one with Abby and the Arsonists at the Free Store recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Electrolane still tour?
I don't know.
Tell me about the writing process, particularly like the lyrics. I feel like they're like really emotionally charged, and it's what kind of draws me to you guys.
How do I answer this without exposing myself? I was in like a emotionally complicated relationship for like 2 years,
Yeah.
and it just like was hard for me to like express the ways I was feeling because it was just so many different things. And so I think like I just sort of turned to my notes app and like write down little things I was feeling. And then as far as like actually writing the songs, I don't know, it doesn't work the way that I picture it should work, but it's always like I'm like, I want to write a song right now, and then I do it. It doesn't feel quite as like artistically motivated. I'll like go to Evan, I'll be like, I think we should write a song, and it's like just play a riff and then start just like mumbling over it. And at some point I usually reach like one phrase or like one little set of words that I think really hits home for me.
And try to expand from there.
Yeah, and I think sometimes even like it doesn't really expand, and I think that's okay too. Like,
Because it can also just be a song.
yeah, I think that we explore that a lot, where it's like we want to create a feeling, and sometimes it doesn't require a bunch of structure and stuff, but I'm definitely like aiming to get a little bit more like refined. Yeah.
So you also help in the writing process.
I guess in ways. Like, I don't want to take any credit for anything, but I mean, I think it's nice to just like have someone there to bounce ideas off and fill in the space.
I mean, there was one time where one of the songs that literally every show we play, someone comes up to me and is like, this is my favorite song ever, was a song where I was with Evan and we were sitting there and I was like, it's just so, like, every song I write that's good just happens so quickly. Like, we could probably write one right now. And then the first riff I did, and Evan made a joke and, like, said a joke lyric, which was, I'll paint the sun yellow and...
I paint the sun yellow to match my nails. I paint my nails yellow to match the sun.
And then I was like,
Cute.
that's good. And then we just wrote it in, like, 2 minutes and then expanded upon it. But it's, like, Evan always says these really, like, kind of clever things, and I'm like, that's really good. I gotta write that shit down.
That's awesome.
But I mean, like, most of the songs on there I've written on my own. That one I feel like it lyrically came from Evan. But yeah.
Have there been any difficulties since starting the project?
Just like staying in it.
Because then it becomes work. it goes from like being like a fun passion project that you can pick up and put down whenever to like now it has to become something more like consistent, and that takes like the craftsmanship. The craftsmanship is more like disciplinary.
I don't know. I don't particularly feel adverse to like the disciplinary aspects or that kind of thing, because like repetition and stuff is just like a part of music in it of itself. So I think it's more of kind of the staying open part that I guess that is its own discipline of like keeping yourself open and vulnerable, but like, you know, just when it's not feeling right.
What do you mean by open and vulnerable?
I think me and Evan, I would consider Evan to be like the closest person to me other than my friend Mary, who I love and adore, by the way, if she's listening to this. But I think that something that makes music between us so easy is how connected we are and like on the same wavelength 24/7. So if anything is out of alignment with that, like the music becomes hard too. So it's like our emotional, spiritual, anything connection has to be sort of clean of any sort of debris or anything for us to like be in music, or at least that's how I perceive it.
Yeah, I mean, the music ideally should be a reflection of the situation, and that can be a rather that's something that in and of itself lacks a sense of security, I guess, because situations are always so changing and whatnot, just from day to day. Active listening ears on, and like even when that doesn't seem like something that makes sense at the moment, I guess it's the challenge, but it's also the joy.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are some ways that you guys stay grounded, connected in that way?
Transcendental meditation.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like that both of you guys knew exactly how and what it was.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, also just like listening to a lot of different things with an open yet critical perspective is a good way to stay grounded.
I think that the one way I stay grounded, I don't know, I have a lot of trust in me and Evan's relationship, like fundamentally, and like in Evan's opinion, in our like safety with each other as like people. And I think that when I start like freaking out, especially before a show or something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I'm nervous? What if Evan's nervous? It's like just reminding myself that that's there. It's sort of like intuition, like it never leaves. As soon as you're in the moment where you need it, like you know it's going to be there. Yeah. And then,
Yeah. Ideally, when you do a show, you're there to kind of serve the show, rather kind of this act of like maybe being a little too in yourself. And I think like having another person there that's
also experiencing the same things that you're thinking and feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
To go off of what you just said, how do you feel the crowd interact with you guys as y'all perform? Do you feel like a disembodied entity and you're sort of like joining a collective, or is there very much a we are on stage and they are on the other side of it? How does it feel?
That's really interesting. I know you have some cool points about that regarding Slow Dive, but or not Slow Dive.
My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine. I'm so sorry.
Some shoegaze band. Yeah. They're all the same.
Personally, when I'm up there, I think I've just reached the point performing live where I'm able to sort of focus on other things, like especially performance-wise, while I'm up there, instead of thinking of like, okay, what's the next lyric? How do I play the song? Because we practice like two or three times a week, so it's like by this point and all the shows that we've done so far, I think our set list has been sort of ingrained in my brain. So when I'm up there now, it sort of feels like
more fluid.
Yeah, like I can focus on the people a little more. So I think I'm just entering that doorway of like seeing how the people are reacting. I don't know, it kind of freaks me out a little bit when I start thinking too much about it. And when I'm usually up there, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of what you said, like, you're like serving the show. You're like, you're here to do the thing you need to do, and then once you get off, you can analyze it and think about it and ask people about it. But I do want to get to a point where it's like I'm really connecting with people. It's nice always to like look up and someone's swaying or like...
Someone's really connecting with the work that you're putting out there. This vulnerable collection of music and words is like hitting somebody.
Yeah. I think like a massive or like a group think kind of effect is a great goal to have, I think, and hopefully the more we do shows, it gets more kind of that connecting with, you know, that unified kind of thing. I think another part of that is I would like from the audience to see more of like more dancing just in general, just like in life in the city, but also just during our shows.
Yeah.
That is another thing that requires that kind of vulnerability, but I think that is another goal that we just talk about when we practice it. Like, we want to see more people dancing, so like we try and incorporate or try and approach our practices or like when we practice
like how can people vibe
to try and get there. Like before we do a show, we'll do like 20 minutes on just metronome, and we won't like rehearse the set.
Yeah, we can't rehearse the set the day of.
Yeah.
My stepdad once told me that it curses the like performance, and I did it one time. It was before our first show ever, in which I botched, but it's like, thank God I did, because like
you got it out the way.
You got it out the way, but also this is a point that I like wanted to express to somebody, is like I for a long time just wanted everything to happen really, really fast and like immediately be the best at performing and like immediately have all these things, but it's like you need the like mess ups and you need the time to really create something you're proud of, because I don't know, it honors
what it is and how good and great it can be.
Yeah. What was I talking about? We practiced the set the day of that show, and I just like messed up so much on stage. I was like, this is the worst thing. And so we have never practiced the set the day of since then, and I think we've done pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you... Oh, go ahead,
sorry.
Please.
Back to the audience interaction thing, there has been like a pretty consistent thing during our shows of like in between Emma tuning, Emma's best friend Mary like calling out to Emma, making a comment like, you're really hot right now. Which
you need that.
I've always appreciated.
I love her.
You need that support.
Yeah.
How do you guys unwind from a show?
Oh my gosh.
Po' boys.
Po' boys? There's this 24-hour po' boy place that we've been to like 2 or 3 times.
Hanks.
This is good. But honestly, as soon as I'm over with this show, I'm like, I just, first I sort of make my rounds and I'm like, what's the worst thing you've ever experienced in your life? And then most people are like, no, you're good. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then I like looking at all the pictures and videos and editing those, because it just helps me like process what just happened. Because when you're up there, it's like,
doesn't feel real.
Go.
It's sort of surreal. Yeah.
And so then I sort of get to experience the show after I'm done, which is always fun for me, because it's like you get to analyze yourself, but I don't know how like beneficial that is.
Sure.
We had a show with Fake Coffee Club and Abby and the Artists where we went it was at the Free Store where we went first, and the two of them went, and I really do enjoy being able to like fully I really like dancing to my friends performing, and that is my preferential way of unwinding. During the Abby and the Arsonist set, my body did things that it normally can't do, and I hurt myself.
Dancing is such a somatic release.
Yeah,
There's some things that we feel emotionally that feels best and is processed physically, and there's nothing better than that sort of like free self-expression and dancing. Yeah. I agree. I also want to see more dancing. I think that there's a lot of like fear and judgment of self and of others and how we're perceived, and it's like, well, what if we're all fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, can we all just be dumb together?
Yeah. Also, it's really fun.
It's really fun and awesome.
Yeah. Is there any like dream venues for y'all?
Yes, me as fuck. Lollapalooza, KEXP, Red Rocks, Amphitheater. I don't know how you say that word. KEXP isn't a venue, but it's a radio station.
Cool.
You know. Oh, yeah. And that's all I got. Sorry. Every time I perform, I'm like, I want to play at Lollapalooza so bad. I don't know why. I think I just associate it with a lot of my like favorite bands.
It's like when people play at, was it CBGBs or something like that? It's
York.
like, yeah, everywhere is fucking, or everybody's played there.
Yeah. Like festivals, like I really want to play a festival.
Were you a festival kid growing up?
I mean, to an extent. They're kind of expensive, but...
Yeah. Especially now. Gone are the days when it was like $12. Yeah.
Yeah.
You? Venues?
None that I want to play at my house or my apartment.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What about that feels special to you?
There's a disco project by Arthur Russell called Dinosaur L that kind of spawned this very seminal dance music track called Go Bang. And the chorus of that song is, I want to see all my friends at once. I want to see all my friends at once.
That's sweet. All right, cool.
Yeah.
We'll end it there. Thank you guys so much.